Hey everybody, Nick here, and this is in response to a viewer question. I solicited some viewer questions in my sunset chat video, and some of them I'm going to answer all at once in some Q&A videos, and some of them deserve fuller responses, and this is one of those that gets a full response. And the question was, Nick, how many pocket knives do you actually own? Well, I went around my house and found every knife I own that doesn't belong to somebody else, like loaners don't count and whatnot. And this is the final answer, 22, which is a lot, and frankly a lot more than it should be, but hey, whatever, I'm working on it. Just to give you an idea, let me run through the kind of categories here. Okay, so some of these knives are really just here because I haven't gotten a chance to sell them off yet. For instance, the Boca Quaken is a nice enough knife, but I'm not so in love with it that it's going to stick around, so that one's going to be on the way out. And similarly, oh, where'd that go? Here we go, the Cold Steel Tough Light. Another example of a knife that's very good, but not necessarily something I'm going to carry and thus doesn't need to stick around. Some of these knives are only around for review purposes. I'll keep them around because, they're handy. So for instance, the PM2, I don't really carry very often anymore. It's a great knife. There's a lot to love here, but it's just not something I find in my pocket very often. But it's still something I want to keep around so I can pull it into videos where I need to. Another example is your Kershaw Cryo. I'm not really going to carry this guy necessarily. I did a lot for the budget knife championship, but it's the runner-up for me, and so it sticks around for review because it's a great example, but it's not something I'm so in love with. Another example of this category is probably a Rat-2. I'll carry it and it may turn into a really good travel knife for me, but it's not something that's going to make into my everyday rotation necessarily. And sadly, the Z-Hunter is not a knife that I carry on a regular basis, or frankly ever, because it is actively dangerous. But it is still, oh, it's the Z-Hunter. There's a deep love in there, I'll say. So, yeah, there's your Z-Hunter. A couple of these knives just stick around for utility basis. For instance, this little dragonfly lives in a dish by the door to open envelopes if you don't have a knife on you. This little guy is a great inoffensive carry if I'm going to someplace like Chicago, something like that, because no one can possibly get angry about this little blade here. So that's lives in that category. The Victorinox Classic is partly for review, because it's a good point of comparison, and partly for similar reasons. And this Kaiser, like I've talked about it a couple of times, it's a $100 knife that I've gotten $120 of use out of. So if I'm doing something that I know is going to beat on the knife, this is probably where I'm going to go first. So what remains on the table here is sort of my permanent collection, although some things may come and go. This is the Opinel 0006 with the tactical black blade. Oh man, I still feel like an idiot on that one. Watch the video. But this is a good low-key sort of carry for the office, someplace where people are generally scared. Dragonfly is a great travel knife. It's also a knife that I keep just obscenely sharp. So if I need a super, super sharp slicing blade, this is where I'll reach for. This is your Shirogorov Neon, which is, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a gem. You all knew that was coming. But it's a gem, 100%, and it's something that I've really fallen in love with. In doing all this, Spyderco Delica is the Delica. It's a joy. This right here is your Kaiser Velox 2. They are not generally mirror polished, nor do they generally have a mirror finger choil. This is a knife I bought, and there were some pretty serious design flaws with it, but I've taken it to become a project knife and done some polishing and whatnot, and it's actually become fairly compelling in that process. So I'm going to throw up a review on this guy sooner or later here. So, yeah, that's there. The Grimsmo Norseman, of course, I just love deeply. Anthony Griffin Custom Front Flipper, just a joy of a knife right there. The Tylock, you all know I love. The Razel, the ZT452CF. This is a knife that probably could be in the mostly for review category, because I just never end up carrying it, because it's big and it's murdery, and, But nonetheless, it's an interesting knife, and it's something I'm a fan of. The Sleesh Bowie, you guys know I'm a Sleesh Bowie person. And the ZT562CF. I'll be honest, this guy doesn't get a whole lot of carry because I've got the Graham Razel. And, I like it a lot. There's nothing wrong at all with this knife, but honestly, when the Razel's right next to it as a heavy-duty carry, the Razel usually wins. So I think I covered everything there. That is my full collection. Every pocket knife I own in one camera shot. I hope this has been interesting to you. Got any questions? Throw it in the comments. In terms of most carried, at the moment, the Norseman's getting a lot of love, the Neon's getting a lot of love, the Tylock as well, and the Griffin. Everything else kind of gets added in there for flavor. If I know I got a hard goose day, I'll go Razel. If I know, frankly, if I want to carry the Bowie, I carry the Bowie. And Delica's a really good vacation, that kind of thing. So there you go. Hope this has been interesting, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.